All right, hear me out when I say this. It's not enough to know who you are. The real question, la pregunta es, are you aligned with who you say you are? Let's get into that. All right, what is up, mi gente? This is Noan El Boricua, and excited to be able to bring to you another episode here on Fuel Pasión Podcast, where we immerse ourselves dentro de cultura, we grow in our faith, and we make those conexiones. So, I opened up with a really great question. That brings me that this week, at the end of this week, at the time of this recording, I was reminded that calling means nothing without alignment. And with that being said, as always, if you feel alignment in these episodes that they are just giving back to you and maybe you're growing, I would love if you could just really quick, just subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, or maybe subscribe to us if you're listening to us on any podcast platform, or if you're watching this on Instagram. As always, I hope maybe you could share this message, maybe like, maybe comment, maybe something may resonate with you. All right, so hear me out. I believe that some of us are called to be in rooms that others will never get a chance to step into. We understand culture. We understand career spaces. We understand how to move between faith and influence. You guys feel me on that? Because that's not luck. No, senor. No, it's not. It's actually called a calling. But here's the thing about calling, the calling isn't that isn't enough, because you can be gifted and still be misaligned. So I had a moment this week. I had a couple moments, okay? First of all, I had a moment with my hermano, Mr. William, aka Alo. Well, I mean, his last name is Alo, but you know what I mean, Alo. And we just had a chance to catch up. For those that know, Alo has a testimony that one day we're just gonna have to talk about this. Alo, we're gonna have to get on camera, and we got to do an interview on this one day. But I was really blessed to be able to hear from Alo. I was blessed to be able to hear a direction that he's heading, and also a beautiful direction within his marriage, and just really understanding that sometimes I mean, if I'm being honest, we really do take advantage of just everyday little moments and not understand the importance that literally every day is a gift from God. And what's crazy is that the next day I had a chance, and can I just give you backstory? I follow a guy by the name of Samuel Choi. He is founder of this brand called Child. I'm going to put it right here. I need you guys to go check it out. And I think for me, so we were at the All-Star weekend. It was, Nike University. We're at Crenshaw High. I noticed that there's a guy that looks really, really familiar. And I just couldn't put a pin on it of who is this guy? And then the next day, the day of the actual event, we are, I'm sitting in with the group of where we volunteered, and I see this amazing panel that's speaking. And then off to my right, I realized there's that dude that I just saw. And in the whole time, I'm just I don't understand who this is. I know this guy. Well, come to find out, he's the guy that I followed on Instagram. And so I walk over and I'm like, hey, man, I just want to say what's up. I follow you on Instagram. I actually serve my youth group, back in my church. And I love everything about your brand. And I think it's just a blessing to see other people that are loving culture, but at the same time living out their faith. Okay. So All-Star weekend passes and we had exchange information. He hits me up, and one thing after another, we eventually land a meetup at Offset Coffee. I feel like this is the spot that I always invite people to when they reach out, and I feel like this is something that could benefit us both. So we talked for a really long time, and here's the thing that I want you to understand. What stood out wasn't just like the sneaker culture that we both love, or even like streetwear in general, talking about different brands and just things that him and we understand. And for those of us that are in the sneaker and streetwear culture, we get each other, right? For me, what stood out in this conversation that I want you to take away, it was the conviction, it was the alignment. It, like, here's the thing. Like, look, give me 1 second. This is the brand, okay? And as you can notice, you see CH, you're missing the I, there's an apostrophe and an LD, right? Corduroy, camel hit, fire. Let me put this back. What I love about Samuel is that he is a storyteller. There is true intentionality of who he is as a person, really in answering this calling from God. And I think for me, here's a brand that removes the I because it's no longer about self. But what I learned from him, it was about surrender. That's alignment. When your brand matches your belief, when your platform reflects your faith, and here's the other one, when your movement matches your message. That was a bar for me. Like, I walked away and I had to really, I literally told him in that moment, like when we were leaving, I'm like, yo, I have so much in my head right now, and I need to unpack this interaction that we just had. And I'm grateful that I'm able to do that right now. I told him I'll make a video about this. So, Samuel, you already know. Now, the beauty that I see was this alignment where, like, and just to quote it, right? Galatians 2:20, I have been crucified. I'm gonna read it right here out of my Bible. It says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. Alignment is when my decisions reflect that verse. Alignment is when my ego doesn't drive the room. Alignment is when my ambition bows to obedience. That's strong. That's a message. And I hope for many of you, that's a reminder that that's you, who God called you to be. You might be like, yo, no, on, like, where have you been? Like, this week has been a week of reflection. So sometimes life, work slows down, not necessarily to stop you, as I reflected on this week, but to like realign you. I don't know why I keep doing this, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Um, so I kind of asked this question to myself and I put it upon all of you. Are you moving too fast or moving faithful? Because speed without alignment, I'm doing that again. It could lead to burnout. Like, speed without alignment will lead to burnout. Movement without alignment leads to like confusion at times. And then success without alignment really leads to like emptiness. So I come to this moment and I'm just grateful for Samuel for giving me a reminder that we should be okay being one of the few. If you don't get that, I'm okay with that. But those that get that, get that. We are the few in this world that love sneaker culture, that love streetwear, that have this faith in God, and that loves to give back to community. Like, there's not many of us out there that have a lot of those themes together. My hope is that you just make sure that you're aligned in being the few. Make sure, for a lot of you, because look, yo, some of you are so amazing. Some of you walk into rooms, some of you walk into spaces that I will never walk into, that other people in your circle will never walk into, or be present in some situations that are just really, really big, monumental moments in your life. My hope that when you enter these rooms, when you enter these opportunities, that you don't change who you are. I don't know what other way to say that. But my hope is always that you always make sure that your skill, that skill set you have, that it serves, really for Samuel and I, as a reminder to each other, that really it serves our God, our Savior. We always make sure that we do that with excellence, never perfect, but giving our best. Being gifted is common. Aligned, it's rare. Calling will open doors, and alignment will always keep you grounded. Because your brand should be able to echo your belief. So don't just be called. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be aligned. And look, if this is something that you just have been misaligned, my hope is that this video can just be a reminder of that. Sometimes God allows a pause so you can ask, am I aligned in my career? Am I aligned in my friendships? Am I aligned in my leadership? Am I aligned in my private life? Because I'm going to say it again, because success without alignment can lead to emptiness. Movement without alignment will lead to burnout. Influence without alignment leads to this collapse. But alignment always leads to peace. And when you lived aligned, you're never alone. I hope that we can move with purpose. Samuel, thank you for the reminder. Samuel, thank you for your heart. And I was reminded today again that I am a child of God, but that I take off the I, because it is not I, but it's Him. I needed that reminder. I needed the celebration with Alo. And I needed some of that movie time with my family. Even though there was no popcorn, doodle fire, whole nother conversation. My hope is that this video is just a reminder for all of us. Look, I don't think I've said this. Maybe I have, or maybe I wrote it down in my Substack, but the word for me is alignment. And I'm just grateful that God is putting some new brothers in my life that can give me more alignment, really, to the calling that God has given me. So with that being said, my hope is that you can head on over to our website, fuelpasionpodcast.com. Maybe check out some of the episodes in the past, some that are relevant to you. But I want to know if you can, maybe, if you're far along in this video, are you aligned right now in your career, in your family, in your calling? And if so, let me know. And if not, what steps will you take to be able to be better aligned in what you're doing, no matter professionally, or maybe you're in the faith base, or maybe you're in the community, whatever that looks like, let me know. But as always, immerse yourself dentro de la cultura, grow in your faith. And look, I made a conexión recently. I hope you can make a conexión with someone. I know that I say conexiones, plural, but maybe you just need one. So, cultura, faith, conexiones, all of that is key in order to fuel our pasión. Hence why the podcast. Thank you so much for checking this out. Y como dice mi abuelita, que Dios te bendiga.